Hello and welcome to another episode of Culinarian Quest. Yay! I know it's been a little bit, but hey, just been doing other things and trying to get back into a routine here. So, today we are doing a two-part recipe from two different books. First one is Lamb Kofta from the God of War, the official cookbook of the 9 realms, and Mom's Potato Pancakes from the Taste of Home Cooking School cookbook. Quite a mouthful there. Now, I have made this Kofta recipe before, and it is very, very tasty. And I recommend it any time. But for me, it always needs a side, just because it's a big protein-based meal. Now, the book says all you need is hibiscus. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Hibiscus, no, damn it. Hibiscus tea, but I have used it as a protein for my dinner meals. Last time I did it, the first time I did this, I should say, I did it with Hasselback baked potatoes, or as it's pronounced in the book, Hasselback Poteter. Poteter. Don't know why I spelled that way. And then the drink I had with it was the honeyed spirits from the exact same book. Both recipes are very good. I actually do recommend looking up the honeyed spirits because, I mean, it's sweet and it's good. If you like mead, it's as close to as a quick recipe as you're gonna get, I believe. But hey, I have done a few other recipes from this book as well, and they all have turned out extremely well. I also like the fact that the book itself is divided into the 9 realms of the Norse mythos. I mean, it's a cookbook called the Cookbook of the 9 Realms. And with each realm, the meals have matched the realm pretty well, in my opinion. Though it was written by 2 real-world authors, the book itself is written by Tyr, and if you don't know who that is, he's a Norse god of war, who in the video game of God of War 2018 and Ragnarok is more of a diplomat than a god of war. In the game itself, Tyr is actually in a prison thanks to Odin, who is the king of the gods in Norse. So I would imagine that the timeline for this book was meant to be written before the 2 games actually took place, as Tyr travels the realms, united them before Odin does his Odin things in the game, messing things up in his quest to obtain all knowledge and doing anything and everything to get it, including killing his own family. Anyway, the Kofta is actually a 2-step process. The first step for this recipe is one that is actually in most of the other recipes in the book, if not all of them. A blend of different spices. This one is called the Dwarven Spice Mixture. This takes about 30 or so minutes to do, so it's not that long and fairly simple. All you'll need is 1/3 cup of hazelnuts, 3 tablespoons of de-shelled pistachios, 2 tablespoons of almonds, 1/4 cup of sesame seeds, 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds, 1 tablespoon of cumin seeds, 2 teaspoons of fennel seeds, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now, the first time I did this, I messed it up big time, like big time. I didn't read the recipe, and the spice mix didn't work out exactly as I should have. I didn't roast the nuts at all. Yeah. But I did for the next time. Onward. So make sure you deshell your pistachios before you place them with the hazelnuts and almonds in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 minutes. Now, the reason I didn't do this is because I was not aware that roasting the nuts actually brings out the flavors. I just kind of tossed everything together and did the third step of the recipe. But now I know, and now I will never do that ever again. So while your nuts are roasting in the oven, you can gather the seeds and place them on a pan, for like a fryer pan, and cook them until they are toasted, which is 3 to 5 minutes. Shouldn't take too long. Once they are all toasted and nice and brown, place them in a grinder and grind them up coarsely. Like, it doesn't have to be fine or anything, but just grind them up and you'll be good to go. Once you're done grinding them, you can place them in an airtight container. Now, you don't have to seal the container quite yet, because after your nuts are roasted, you're going to let them cool for just a few minutes, and then you're going to grind them up in the same manner, coarsely. Now, you will join the seeds and the nuts together. And now, add your salt. And then the final step, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. And after you're done shaking everything within a airtight, after you have shaken everything up in an airtight container, you have your Dwarven spice mix ready to go. And the good news is it will last up to a month, so you can use this for pretty much any other recipe. I think I did it with a fish one at some point, and it was pretty good. So yeah, try this mixture on other recipes other than this, and you might be surprised how good it is. Anyway, sorry, I'm reading the script here, and I'm kind of I'm getting myself mixed up. All right, so now with your spice mix ready to go, you're ready to start on the Kofta itself. What you'll need for the Kofta is 1 shallot that will need to be finely chopped or ground up, 2 cloves of garlic that you will need to mince, 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley that you will need to chop or grind up. And it says fresh because obviously fresh parsley or fresh anything is better. But if you have some prepackaged stuff, that will not hurt anything or anyone. Just make sure it's fine. 1 tablespoon of fresh cilantro that you'll also need to chop or ground up. And I think cilantro paste should be okay, but I wouldn't use a full teaspoon. 1 pound of ground lamb, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 3 tablespoons of freshly made or cooled Dwarven spice mix, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Now, making the Kofta itself is actually quite easy to do. Just make sure your shallot, garlic, parsley, and cilantro are finely chopped or ground up through a grinder. And make sure that the garlic is, because if you get a big chunk of that, you will be reeking for days and vampires will never get near you. So once you have all that done, all you have to do is add the lamb, the spice mix, and the salt into a large mixing bowl. With your hand or low-speed mixer, a hand is definitely preferred at this point. Work everything together without overworking the lamb. Now, personally, I haven't overworked the lamb as far as I'm aware, so I don't know how that can happen or how that will affect the meal. So I would say maybe mix it for 30 seconds or after everything is evenly distributed. And then once it is, stop working it. And then when everything is mixed together, it is time to shape the Kofta. Basically, you want to make them look like mini logs, per se. Now, the book says you will be able to make 6 Koftas that are 4 inches long out of the mixture you have. So unless you can eye 4 inches or you have a ruler, just make them the size you want, although I wouldn't make them too small. Though I would say make more than 3 with the amount of meat you have, because otherwise it's going to be either really small or they're going to be really big. And you have 3, that's like perfect size for meal and a half. And once you have them shaped and placed on a plate before your pan, you're going to coat them all in the olive oil. And then once you have them coated in the olive oil, cook them in a pan until they are brown on all sides. Now, I had to place mine in the oven because they were turning a little black and were not fully cooked all the way through at that time, which I don't think is an issue, because if you get them black and they're still not cooked, that's not a very good Kofta. Or they're too thick, either way. But if you need to stick them in the oven, about 350 should be just fine for a few minutes. But once they're cooked all the way through, let them rest for a little bit before enjoying. And now for part 2 of this recipe, the potato pancakes! Full disclaimer though, I didn't do this one right either. How, you may ask? Well, step 1 of the whole process in the book is to shred the potatoes. And I didn't do that. So, with that out of the way, here's what you need for the potato pancakes. 4 cups of peeled and shredded potatoes. The book says that this is about 4 large potatoes. Just depending on the amount you need. You don't need to do exactly 4, but yeah. I think I used 2. 1 large egg that needs to be beaten lightly, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour or APF, 1 tablespoon of grated onion, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And finally, some oil for the frying. Now, the book doesn't really call for a specific type of oil, so imagine you can use pretty much whatever kind you would like. And I use canola oil. Hold on, everyone. I ran into another issue. Sorry. I had just been informed by my production team of myself that I didn't hit the record button while recording my cooking of this. Yeah. I am truly a professional at this when I am cooking. And yeah, I triple checked both cameras, I used the film, I checked the memory cards, I checked my hard drive. This wasn't like something I just was trying to find out on the fly. I literally didn't record me making the potato pancakes. But I do have footage of me cutting them at least. Hey! Okay, well, I don't know what I'm going to do for the background for this, or maybe I'll just use my old background. But anyway, I'm going to go with what the book says at this point. Okay, after shredding the potatoes, not cutting them, shredding them. After you shred them, you will need to stick them in cold water. After letting them sit for about a minute or so, I stir them around just to get the starch out as much as possible, or whatever the water is for. I honestly forget. And looking it up, I was right. Haha! You then want to place them on a plate with some paper towels on them to pat them dry, or as close as possible, because you don't want the water getting in contact with the oil, obviously. That could cause some damage. Afterwards, place them in a large mixing bowl and mix them together in with the egg, flour, onion, and SMP. While you're doing that, or even while waiting for your potatoes to dry, warm up a pan or skillet with about 1/4 inch of oil, whatever oil you chose, about medium heat. Anyone who fries food more often than I do knows you don't want too high of a heat, otherwise you risk burning your food. I've done that a couple of times now, and you'd think I'd learn, but anyway, once your oil is hot enough and you have your potatoes covered and ready to go, you will want to make them into small balls. Place them only a few at a time in the fryer, maybe 2 or 3, and then flatten them. Obviously not with your hands. Use a spoon or a spatula. Fry both sides until they are golden brown and let them drain on a separate plate with paper towels to let the oil soak out. And once you're finished, these are best served right away with your warm kofta. Now, there is a picture in the book of the potato pancakes, and, well, mine looks nothing like it. Next time, I will shred the potatoes like the book says, but hey, they all can't be perfect. I do enjoy eating koftas more often now. It's not an everyday thing, but I could go maybe once a month or so, and I could see once I get it down better, doing the cakes more often. Well, they are not really the best paired items to go together, but they are still a very good meal. Can never go wrong with meat and potatoes. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give the recipe a try, and thank you for listening. I'll talk to you later. See ya.